Today, bread is everywhere. It's on kitchen counters, in lunchboxes, in restaurants, in supermarkets. Billions of people eat it every single day without giving it a second thought. A loaf of bread feels so ordinary that it's almost invisible. But here's the strange part: bread is one of the most important inventions in human history, and nobody actually set out to invent it. There was no ancient baker, no genius scientist, no moment when someone proudly announced they had created bread. Instead, one of humanity's most important foods may have begun as a complete accident, a mistake, a forgotten pile of plants, a lucky discovery. And that accident helped change the course of civilization itself. So how did humans accidentally create bread? To answer that, we need to travel back long before farms, long before cities, long before written history. Imagine standing on a vast grassland tens of thousands of years ago. You are hungry, really hungry. There are no grocery stores, no refrigerators, no food delivery apps. Every meal depends on what you can find, what you can gather, what you can hunt, and survival is never guaranteed. Ancient humans lived in a world where food could disappear without warning. A failed hunt could mean days without meat. A harsh winter could wipe out entire food supplies. Even during good seasons, finding enough calories was a constant challenge. Now remember this: early humans were incredibly observant. They noticed everything: animal tracks, weather patterns, edible plants, tiny changes in the landscape, because paying attention meant staying alive, and over time they began noticing something interesting growing all around them. Wild grasses, at first glance, they didn't look very useful. Their seeds were tiny, hard, difficult to eat. Nothing like the soft bread we know today, but hunger makes people creative. Researchers believe that ancient humans eventually started collecting these seeds, not because they were delicious, because they were available. And available food is valuable food. The problem was that these seeds were tough. Chewing them wasn't pleasant. Digesting them wasn't easy. Yet they contained something important: energy, lots of it. So humans started experimenting. Maybe they crushed the seeds with stones. Maybe they mixed them with water. Maybe they chewed them into a paste. Nobody knows exactly, but this sounds impossible today. For thousands of years, people slowly learned which plants could help them survive. Then, something unexpected happened. Imagine a small group sitting near a campfire. They have gathered wild grains. The seeds have been crushed into a rough powder. Nothing fancy, just a simple mixture of ground plants and water. Perhaps someone drops a lump of this mixture onto a hot stone beside the fire. Maybe it was accidental. Maybe it was curiosity. Either way, heat changes everything. The wet paste begins to dry. The outside becomes firm. The inside stays soft. A strange smell fills the air. Warm, nutty, inviting. For the first time, humans may have tasted something that resembled bread. Not fluffy bread, not sandwich bread, not bakery bread. Just a flat, simple cake made from grain. But it was easier to eat, easier to carry, and easier to digest. Think about that for a second. One small accident near a fire may have transformed a difficult plant into a powerful food source. And once people discovered that trick, there was no going back. Now here's the strange part. Scientists believe bread may actually be older than farming itself. That surprises many people. Most of us assume humans learned to farm first and then invented bread, but evidence suggests the story may have happened in reverse. Archaeologists have discovered traces of ancient bread-like foods that appear to predate agriculture, which raises an incredible possibility. People may have loved bread so much that it helped inspire farming. Imagine that. Instead of farming, creating bread may have helped create farming. If true, that's one of the biggest accidental consequences in human history. Because once humans realized grain could become something useful, those wild plants suddenly became valuable. Very valuable. Groups began returning to places where grain grew naturally. They collected more, stored more, protected more. Eventually, some people may have started encouraging those plants to grow. A few scattered seeds here, a cleared patch of land there. Nothing dramatic at first, just small actions. But over time, those actions changed everything. This sounds simple, yet it marked the beginning of a completely new relationship between humans and food. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans followed food. Now food was beginning to stay in one place, and that meant humans could stay too. Over time, villages appeared, then larger settlements, then cities, all connected to the ability to produce reliable food. And grain became one of the most important foods on Earth. But statistics and civilizations can feel distant, so let's make this personal. Imagine a mother living nearly 12,000 years ago. Winter is approaching, game animals are becoming harder to find, temperatures are dropping, her family depends on whatever food they can store. A pile of grain might not seem exciting, but when those grains are crushed, mixed with water, and heated, something remarkable happens. The food lasts longer, it travels more easily, it feeds more people. For that family, bread isn't comfort food, it's survival food. Every piece represents another day lived, another child fed, another winter endured. And that's why bread became so powerful, not because it tasted good, because it created security. For most of human history, security was rare. People didn't know where next month's food would come from. Many didn't know where next week's food would come from. Bread helped change that, slowly, generation after generation, loaf after loaf, and eventually bread became something more than survival. It became culture. Different communities developed different versions: flatbreads, round breads, dense breads, soft breads. Every society adapted the idea, yet all of them traced back to the same basic discovery: grain, water, heat. An accident that worked. But then something even more unexpected happened. Humans discovered fermentation. Wild yeast began interacting with dough. Bread started rising. Textures changed, flavors changed. Entire new possibilities appeared again, not because someone planned it, because nature kept surprising people. Many of humanity's greatest food discoveries happened this way: observation, experimentation, accident, improvement over time. Now think about where that journey began. Not in a factory, not in a bakery, not in a laboratory, beside a fire with hungry people trying to survive another day. That's what makes the story of bread so fascinating. It wasn't created by abundance. It was created by scarcity, by necessity, by ordinary humans solving ordinary problems. And in doing so, they accidentally changed the future. Tonight, somewhere in your kitchen, there is probably bread, maybe a loaf, maybe a sandwich, maybe a few forgotten slices. It looks simple, almost boring, but hidden inside that bread is a story that stretches back thousands of years, a story of hunger, curiosity, discovery, and survival. Every loaf is connected to ancient people who never knew they were shaping history, people who simply wanted enough food to make it through tomorrow, yet their small experiments helped create the foundations of civilization. So the next time you see a piece of bread, remember this: you're not just looking at food, you're looking at one of humanity's oldest accidents, an accident that fed families, built settlements, inspired farming, and ultimately helped transform wandering humans into the civilizations we know today. And that may be the most remarkable thing about bread. It was never supposed to change the world, but somehow it did.